down. So down, more towards us. More. Come. A little bit more. There it is. Do you see? Look, it grabbed a fish. Did you see that? How cool is that? So it was a greenbacked heron and it was just on the edge and it went in and smashed a fish. So I was hoping that we would see it hunting, and I was about to say that these guys are some of my favorite hunters, and you see it grabbed itself a little bream species. It's also in its breeding colors. You can see it's got its red on the chest with a white stripe there, so it's in its breeding coloration. It is a green-backed heron, and it's managed to catch itself a little bream, and that's a really good meal. You can see now it's going to kind of get it in its beak, and it'll eventually try and figure out how to actually sort of get it, and might even hit it against the ground and try and sort of stun that fish before it then swallows it. But that's going to be a really good meal. Well done, green-backed heron, and just in time as well to see it kind of splashing in and grabbing it. So that was super cool. I've been wanting to get one of these catching a fish on film for a long time and on the cameras, and there we go. It's kind of stunned it, and now down the gullet it goes, and that will be a proper meal. Oh, you can't stop halfway. There we go, and in it goes. Well done, heron. That's very clever. That is so epic. That is so cool. So Taylor says to me, a little drink of water to wash it down. Well done. Clean the beak as well. Make sure that there's not too many little scales and things left on the beak. You see, just cleaning it, a bit of water. Do you see how far its neck stretches out as well? So this heron looks super compact, and you would think it'd be difficult to get to fish and those kind of things, but look how far that neck stretches. You see, it pushes the neck right out towards the water and can drink and stay a safe distance away so that things like crocodiles don't get to it. But there we go. Look at that. And then in the background was a little pied wagtail that also ran away. So it's all happening. Now, Taylor was saying this is an early birthday present because she sat hours with this greenbacked heron trying to get it to catch a fish, and I think so, Taylor. I think it's definitely a little birthday gift from the birds of Chitwa themselves. That was so cool. Now, the chances of seeing that are so rare. I mean, you can spend hours, as Taylor mentioned, watching these guys, and you won't see them grabbing a fish. So that is just super special, and we've been spoiled to be able to see that. Oh, I'll fluff it up. I wonder if that fish is still wiggling inside there, which is a bit weird. Cheryl, you say it seems pretty big for a little bird like that. Well, that bird, funny enough, is a little bigger than you think it is. I mean, it is small, and that fish was quite big, but at the end of the day, their neck does stretch out a little bit, and their stomach will be big enough to cope with that. It'll just digest that fish, and you can see it's still on the stalk. It's still moving around, keeping its profile quite low, so that's not enough for it just yet. They're still looking for more, and if we stay on it for long enough, maybe we'll get lucky, and we'll see another little strike out at a fish. But it's definitely got its profile nice and low. When they are hunting, they do this. They get themselves kind of creep down, much like a leopard would, and then you'll see that neck just shooting out and then going after a fish. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see it kind of trying to go quickly into the water again and grabbing whatever it's looking for. So while that seemed like a big meal, it still will hunt a little bit more, and it will still try and make use of the conditions. Now is the best time for it to hunt. It's kind of low light, so the fish can't see as well, and it makes it much harder for them to be able to see that bird of prey right on the edge of the water. Snazzy, you say they must have a pretty tough digestive system. Well, yes, I think all of these birds that eat fish must have really strong constitutions, because it's swallowed that thing alive, and that poor fish is going to be digested very quickly by those stomach acids and break that all down, and it'll break down the bones, the skull, everything, which is amazing. I know fish don't have the hardest of bones. Their bones tend to be a lot softer than what we see kind of in mammals, but still, to break that all down is pretty amazing. But you see how it's just positioned. Neck is cocked in, so that as soon as a fish comes anywhere near and its eyes are able to detect the movement, it can strike out using that long... There we go. Hold on. It looks like it might go again. Let's have a look. Now, you see how it's waiting, it's patient, it's creeping forward. It's obviously spotted a little bit of prey and some of the fish cruising the shallows very close to the edge of the water. So it's gotten itself nice and low. Its neck is all tucked in, and it's going to try and strike out as soon as that fish comes past. So it's in prime position now to be able to go after some sort of fish. Now, how long it's going to take until it strikes out, I'm not quite sure. It's still just working out exactly what it's got to do. And it's got to calculate for diffraction and all kinds of things within the water before it then shoots that head out into the water itself. So let's just see. I wonder, no, it seems to be settling down a bit now. It's not as poised as it was a few seconds ago.